back to Sunday Night Spookies, the podcast dedicated to exploring the mysterious and the spooky unknown. My name is Lex.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is episode 18, Paranormal Games.
So when we say paranormal games, we don't mean paranormal video games, which happened to come up quite a bit in our research. I just kept getting lists of the top 10 scariest video games to play in 2020, which, thanks for the info.
Yes.
But not what I needed at this point. Mm-mm. So an example of like a paranormal game is kind of like Bloody Mary, where there's like a task you do at night by yourself in the dark, and it's like spooky. But paranormal games have gained a lot of popularity in recent years.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with like people on YouTube. Like I think
TikTok, people do TikTok too.
But so paranormal games are something that you like have an objective, and you have a list of things that you need. You have to set up a circle. You need a flashlight. You need a candle. You have to contact this spirit. You have to say this name. Stuff like that. Like you have an objective, and it's usually to contact something from another world, otherworldly being, for information, just to see what happens. I know there's one where like you're supposed to like play hide and seek with an entity.
Nope.
And most of them, you actually have to invite these people or these things into your house, which is huge no. Like,
yeah. No.
We're not the biggest fans of paranormal games for that reason.
I don't trust them.
No. And especially if you don't know what you're doing, if you have to invite these things in your house. And most like demons or like entities like that, if you give them an invite,
they can stay.
That's it. Doesn't matter if you say get out. It's like, you invited me at one point, and that's all they need.
Yep.
So I think the most common one is Bloody Mary.
Yeah. We're going to preface this with, we're going to give pretty detailed instructions about how to do these things.
Don't do them.
For legal reasons, please don't do them.
We're not responsible for anything that happens if you do these paranormal games.
Right. We did do 2 of the paranormal games that we're going to talk about.
2 of the quote-unquote safer ones, still really sketch.
Yeah. So
stay tuned to hear about that.
Yeah. We'll talk about those a little bit later. So please don't do them.
Or do it at your own risk.
Yeah. And if you're going to, sorry if you...
Kind of like the Ouija board episode. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Right.
Not responsible for whatever the hell happened to you.
So I think the most common one that we all know about is Bloody Mary. Or my mom called it, I think it was my mom, said Mary Worth.
I've heard that, yeah.
And that's like, I think that's like the older version. I think it's based off of Queen Mary the First.
Yes.
That's where like the nickname came from.
Because she was nicknamed Bloody Mary.
Yes. So I remember doing Bloody Mary when I was in elementary school. And we smeared soap on the mirror. Plot twist, that's unnecessary. And now I look back and I'm like, wow, we were just like really big assholes. Someone had to clean that, and now I'm like, I'm an ass.
I never heard that until we were doing research for this, and you said something like, we just smear soap in the mirror. I'm like, for what?
Yeah, I don't know why, and I have no good excuse for that. So historically, Bloody Mary started, it's a divination ritual because you're looking into a mirror. And that ritual used to encourage young women to walk up a flight of stairs backward, holding a candle and a hand mirror in a completely darkened house. And as they would walk backward up the stairs and gaze into the mirror, they were supposed to be able to catch a view of their future husband's face. But the plot twist is that if they didn't see their husband's face, they would likely see a skull or the face of the Grim Reaper, and that would indicate that they were going to die before they would get married.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, and that's very different from the Bloody Mary that we know.
Right. So
how did it get
we have modernized it quite a bit. Bloody Mary allegedly appears to individuals or groups who ritualistically invoke her name in an act of katoptromancy, which is mirror divination. It's done repeatedly by chanting her name into a mirror placed in a dimly lit or candle-lit room, and her name must be repeated 3 times or some other specified number of times. And the Bloody Mary apparition will appear as a corpse, a witch, or a ghost that can be friendly or evil, and is sometimes seen covered in blood.
Because I used to play it in elementary school and middle school, and we would do, you had to have like a candle in front of you. You'd hold a candle in front of you, and you'd say Bloody Mary, and you'd spin around. Bloody Mary, spin around. Bloody Mary, spin around. And the 3rd time you spin around, you're supposed to look up at the mirror, and you're supposed to see a lady covered in blood.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what would happen.
Yeah, I never heard that she could be friendly or evil. I thought she was just evil.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So the legend says that Any participants of the ritual may endure an apparition screaming at them, cursing them, strangling them, stealing their soul, drinking their blood, or scratching their eyes out.
Oh, okay.
That never
good.
happened to me.
Actually, I got my eyes scratched out once. Just once.
Just one time.
Maybe that's why I'm so blind.
So that's the one that we all commonly know. I want to say almost everybody has done that at least once.
Yeah.
Right? I only did it in elementary school.
The kids that did that when they were younger are the kids that are like
into this kind of shit now.
like the weird
They're the same ones that are talking about spooky stuff in a basement.
Well, here we are.
Yep.
So did you ever have any experiences playing Bloody Mary? Did you see anything?
No, we just got very scared.
I think that's the point, was to scare yourself.
Yeah, no, never saw her.
I didn't either. Like I said, I played it when I was younger, and nothing. There's anything. However, there is another paranormal game that is said to be one of, quote unquote, the most dangerous. And this one I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about this one.
I don't know anything about this one, so this should be fun.
This one's called the King's Ritual. A lot of people on YouTube have done this and filmed it, and I've read a few really weird reviews, experiences online of people that actually didn't take it seriously, screwed it up, and then had an entity in their house. No. And then just it stayed. They had to get rid of it.
Yeah, no, that's a no from me.
So, like I said, this is one of the more common, not common, but more popular ones for people to show on YouTube and do and whatever. So you need a large, quiet room, preferably without windows. If you must use your room with windows, you have to cover them up so there's no light coming in from the outside. The room should also have a door that closes and latches securely. You need a candle, preferably a sturdy pillar candle that will not burn out or burn down very quickly, a lighter to light the candle, a small bucket of water and a clean cup or mug, an electric fan, 2 large mirrors, an alarm clock, 3 chairs, a fully charged cell phone, and a partner you trust to follow the rules and take the game seriously.
And a trip to the supermarket to get all of those things.
Yeah, for real. You also need a small object that is sentimental or emotionally valuable to you. Here are the rules. Again, just play at your own risk if you must. So, at 11 p.m., you should begin to set up the Three Kings ritual. In your chosen room, place one of your chairs facing north. This is going to be your throne. Place the other 2 chairs on either side of you facing your throne. So you 2 facing inward. These chairs belong to the queen and the fool, and they should be about an arm's distance from your throne. Secure 1 mirror onto the queen's chair and 1 onto the fool's, again facing toward the throne. Sitting on the throne, you should be able to see your reflection in your peripheral vision without having to turn or look. So they should be close enough but far enough where you can see, just see your reflection. Place the bucket of water in your chosen mug or cup in front of the throne, just barely out of reach. You want them near enough in case you need them, but not too close that you trip on them. Place the fan behind the throne and turn it on, but not on high. Medium or low would be best. Turn the lights off and leave the room, making sure the door is left open, and then go to your bedroom. That's really important. You have to leave that door open that your ritual is set up on. Place your cell phone, candle, and lighter close to your bed so you can reach them easily without having to hunt for them. Make sure your phone is fully charged. Set your alarm for 3:30 a.m. Take your chosen object and she's over here shaking her head.
No, 3 o'clock is the witching hour.
That's the point, the most dangerous hour. Take your chosen object and get into bed. It's time to sleep to prepare for what is to come. I'm going to sleep. Whatever. When your alarm clock goes off at 3:30 a.m., get out of bed, light the candle, and grab your phone. Keep your sentimental object with you at all times. You have exactly 3 minutes to get to your prepared room. When you enter the room, close the door behind you. Your chosen partner in this ritual should wait right outside the room and be as quiet as possible. So the point of this person...
Safety.
So... Yeah, you want whoever's doing this with you, they're not going to be part of the ritual in the room, but they're going to be waiting for you on the other side.
Okay.
And they can interfere if they need. Protecting your candle flame, take your place on your throne. Your body should block the wind from the fan behind you, so keep your candle in front of you so it doesn't go out, so the fan doesn't blow the candle out. So the idea here is, should you move or turn your body or slump to the side or anything during the ritual, the fan behind you blows out this candle. Do not, at any point, look directly into the mirrors on either side of you. And that is all in caps. You do not do that. Also, do your best not to stare directly at the candle flame either. Just kind of like look off into
somewhere.
Not on either two of these points. So assuming that you've made it to your throne by 3:33 a.m. and all has gone according to plan so far, you may now begin the active part of the ritual by asking a question out loud. It may take time, but again, assuming you did everything correctly, you will soon be joined by the kings who will answer your questions. Reportedly, you will actually hear their voices. But remember, no matter how startled you are or how unsettling it may be, don't look into the mirrors.
What happens if you look in the mirror?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out maybe. Remember to take this seriously. Like, this is a huge, like, you cannot look into these mirrors. Like, everyone, any research that I read, any like reviews almost, like, yes, I played this, don't look in the mirror. Like, that was a huge thing that people said. And this isn't a time to ask dumb questions. Like, this is, you're supposed to ask like a deep philosophical question.
Okay.
Because it's like, I guess if you ask like a really dumb question or one that's of not any importance to you, it's going to piss off the kings, quote unquote.
And that's the last thing you want to do when you're inviting that stuff in.
You have exactly 1 hour with the kings to ask as many questions as you want, as long as they're meaningful questions to you. Be prepared for answers you don't like, and be prepared for questions as answers to your question. Like, they'll talk in riddles, supposedly. Do not let the candle go out. That's like a huge thing as well. You can't, unless like you faint or something, you can't let the candle go out. And
if the candle goes out, does your candle go out?
Well, I've read a few versions of this, and it, like, I guess my take on it is the fan is there as a challenge to you. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe the kings won't communicate if it's just as simple as, I'm going to sit here with a candle. Like, you need, like, if you move in any way, that's going to go out. Like, that's the idea, I think. That's, like, what I've gathered from it, is it's like that's your objective.
Sure.
Because most of these paranormal games, like I said, you need an objective. And I think keeping this candle alive is your objective. At 4:34, your friend on the other door should call out to you that the game has ended. If you don't respond, they should try calling your phone. If, and only if, neither of these methods succeed in getting your attention, they should then enter the room and try to snap you out of it by calling your name. And if that doesn't work, they throw a cup of water at you. That's why the mug and the water's in front of you, is they need to splash you with water. Okay. But they can't touch you. That's another rule. They cannot physically touch you. They can't, like, shake you out of it. They can't, nothing. They call your name or they throw a bucket of water at you.
Okay.
If you find yourself in a semi-conscious state and it's time to return, focus on the personal item you brought with you. So it's basically like if you've ever, like, meditated, or if you've ever been hypnotized, if you're in this weird state, remember you have this object, focus on this object.
And it's a grounding factor.
Yeah, and it's supposed to bring you back a little bit. So if any of you have any experience with meditation, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, you might think we're fucking nuts.
Highly recommend meditation.
It happens. This weird, like, meditative state, your semi-conscious thing, it's a real thing. And it's actually, it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. If you're, like, open enough to do it right.
Yeah.
As soon as you are fully aware that the ritual is up, your person has gotten your attention, you should stand up, blow out the candle, and leave the room to signify the closure. This ritual is now ended. So here are I have a whole list of warnings that go along with this. Okay. And kind of like, if this happens, don't do this. If this happens, don't do this. If you do not wake up at 3:30, you don't wake up to your alarm, don't continue with the ritual. I guess that's a sweet spot of time.
Okay.
If you return to your prepared room to find the door closed, remember you left it open, do not continue, leave the house, take everything you need with you for the night, and do not return before 6 a.m. And that I have read.
That makes me want to cry.
That is a snippet that I have read many times. Like, that is a very common, like, you gotta do this. If your door is closed, don't continue and leave your house.
Shut the door.
I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why you have to leave your house.
Because something's like, oh, we ain't doing this today.
Right. To be fair, if I woke up, I would never do this ritual. But if I were, and I woke up to find that door closed, I'm getting out of the house regardless if the rule said to. Screw that. You also left the fan on. So when you set everything up, you're supposed to turn the fan on before you went to sleep. Okay. If your fan is off or no longer working, don't continue. Leave the house. Don't come back before 6 a.m.
Okay.
Don't let your candle go out. That's another thing. That's going to piss something off. Don't let the candle go out. Again, don't look at either mirror at all. Like, don't directly look at it. And here's why. I say this part for the last. It said that if you look into the mirror, whatever you see in the mirror can pull you into this either like unconscious state or just weird like veggie state, like mindless whatever, and you're trapped by the whatever entity you're contacting.
No.
Which, if you don't know much about like mirror divination or like not the magic behind mirrors, but like the weird stigma of like dark mirrors, black mirrors, and anything like that, that's a thing. That's a like we should do an episode on that now that I'm thinking about it, because that's a whole being like having your conscious stolen from a black mirror is like a thing too. You also can't leave your throne before 4:34. So once you commit, you're committed. You can't get off that throne until your person says, hey, time's up. And don't go into the ritual acting cocky or disrespectful or not thinking that something's not going to happen, because if you do that, if you go into this thinking it's not going to happen, this is so stupid, then it said that your partner, the person who's like going to wake you up out of this, will have consequences as well.
No, that sounds terrible.
There are a ton of rules and regulations and warnings and things to do for this ritual. Hence why it's kind of the most dangerous, is because there's a lot of screw up. Like there's
too many variables.
Yeah, and if you don't do everything 100% correctly, like that's bad news bears.
Yeah.
So that's the Three Kings ritual. For the record, we didn't do this one.
No.
There's no way. There's no way.
There are some things I'm willing to do, and there are things I will never do. And that's one of the things I will never do.
Never.
I have another paranormal game that has quite a few rules. It's called Red Door, Yellow Door, and you might have heard about it originally from Reddit. It used to be on Reddit as a game called The Doors of Your Mind.
Hadn't you heard of this before we did this?
Yes, I saw it on TikTok. I don't like to admit that, but there was a game in the mid-90s that was called Black Door, White Door. Same premise, different name. No matter which version you play, it's relatively low risk compared to other games and rituals like the Three Kings. It's, again, a form of meditation, and the goal is simply to explore the contents of your own head, which is what meditation is.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily recommend Red Door, Yellow Door. I do recommend
meditation.
Meditation.
If you want to explore the weird contours of your mind, get into meditation.
It's pretty cool. But in Red Door, Yellow Door, you visualize the interior of your mind as a long corridor with many doors and rooms shooting off of it. And while you're meditating, it allows you to take your time walking through everything and potentially helping you sort out problems, or maybe just allowing you to learn something about yourself. But be warned, there could be some unpleasant or downright nasty things lurking in the location that you conjure up. It's not unheard of for threatening personages to appear and lock you in one of the rooms.
Oh, good.
And getting locked in can sometimes complicate things.
This kind of reminds me of the Insidious movies.
Yeah.
Like being trapped in some other realm or whatever.
Yep. Also know that while you're walking around, you do not have to open up every door. If you get a bad feeling from one, leave it shut. Trust yourself. So you will need a friend to play this one, and they'll guide you through the process as well as help you come back to the physical world if you encounter something dangerous in the world inside your mind.
So maybe don't use me, because I'll panic.
Well, I think it's like something dangerous in the world inside your mind, because if you don't meditate, or even in meditation, you don't necessarily find the deep, dark things either. But when you go in thinking that you might.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like astral projection too. Like some people don't even believe in it, and some people claim to do it all the time and see all these things and get premonitions, and you know what I mean. So I guess the openness of your mind and your willingness to maybe I will see something.
Yeah,
I think that can be dangerous in itself.
I think it's terrifying to like go into something knowing that you might see something bad in the corners of your mind. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm gonna go into this like weird meditative state, and then maybe I'll find some shit I don't like.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Great. So you need a minimum of 2 people. One person plays the role of the guide and one person plays the game. You can have more people there, but they have to observe. They're not a part of it. So you find a dark, comfortable room to play in. The guide should sit cross-legged on the floor, and the other one lays on their back with their head resting in the lap of the guide. The person laying down should raise both of their arms straight up in the air and keep their eyes shut for the duration of the game. I just don't really know what the arms straight up thing is.
That's strange.
But it matters, apparently. The guide should rub the player's temples with their fingers in a circular motion, and that creates a relaxed state. This is used to create a relaxed state and allows the player to enter into a meditative state. The guide should then begin to repeat the words, red door, yellow door, red door, yellow door. Anyone else in the room should also repeat the phrase. That's their only involvement.
Okay.
This process should create a trance-like state and allow the player to enter their own mind and explore its inner workings. The player should visualize themselves somewhere, such as a room, and they may be able to visualize doors there. If they enter this state, they should lower their arms and let everyone in the room know that they're there. Once this state is reached, everyone can stop repeating red door, yellow door.
Okay, so I guess the arms is to just say, hey, I've actually reached this point.
Right. The guide should then begin asking questions to the player to describe their surroundings, what it looks like, where they are, and how it makes them feel. They should prompt the player to move around, down a hallway, through a door, etc. Some notes to keep in mind. Do not trust, speak, or interact with any person or other entity present within your trance state. Some have claimed to see dark figures or men in suits. Supposedly encountering these people could bring danger to you, and you should avoid them at all costs. It's best to end the game if you encounter any of these entities.
Oh, good.
Remember that light objects are better than dark objects. So, like, if you see a yellow door or a black door, maybe go through the yellow door.
Yeah.
You're free to move around the room and any area that you end up in, but it's always best to avoid anything that you don't feel right about and always listen to your guide.
Okay.
So if you're like I imagine you can be like nervously like hyperventilating or something in this trance, I imagine.
Yeah.
So if your guide's like, leave that room,
okay, so
do it.
You'd have to find a guide that's like intuitive to that stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
somebody
you'd
who
have
knows
to-
you. Don't just have some like rando caress your temples and tell you to leave
Go
the
to
room.
Walmart, like, hey, I'm really trying to play this paranormal game. You got a good vibe. Will you rub my temples for me?
Right. No, I imagine it would be best to choose somebody that knows you.
And knows, like for me, I have anxiety. So, like, if I get Austin to do this with me, he would never. He'd be like, "You're
No, we're not
a
doing that.
moron. We're not doing this." But he knows what, like, my weird anxious tics are. So he'd be able to be like, "Nah, leave that."
Leave that room. That's not a good idea.
Or he'd be a dick and be like, "Go in there, see what happens. Go in there."
Just see. It's fine. You just like crumble
Yeah.
into a million pieces of anxiety. It's fine. So clocks within the game are very bad and should be
Oh.
avoided. If you see a clock in your trance, it could permanently trap you.
Oh, what's the significant? Why clocks?
Time, I don't know. Like time like locks you into something, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
If you become trapped, you must try to wake up. If you don't wake up, your conscious could be trapped forever.
Oh, good. That's just, you know what? That's how I want to spend my Friday nights, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's take this gamble. Will I be trapped inside my conscious forever?
Tune in next week. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll find out.
If you encounter stairs, never go downstairs. It's a way to trap you. Only go upstairs if
Well, that seems like
have
a
to.
rip-off deal. Going downstairs is always better than going up.
yeah, well, and the last rule is to cut the game short and wake up the participant if at any stage you feel the game is taking a dark turn. If you die while in your trance state, you will die in real life.
Oh, even better. You know what's better than getting trapped inside your conscience? Dying. Sign me up.
They actually have, and I'll see if I can find something, and maybe we can like post a clip of it on Instagram, but I have seen a video of a simulation of Red Door, Yellow Door, and it is creepy.
And it was that like a simulation that somebody played it, described what they saw, and somebody made like a simulation from it?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you.
Because I think that would be even...
I did
creepier.
see. I've seen videos of people on TikTok playing Red Door, Yellow Door. I imagine that you can find them on YouTube as well. But I did see a simulation. I'm going to see if I can find it again because it was creepy.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, so that's Red Door, Yellow Door.
Never playing that.
No. Mm-mm.
So our next game that we're going to talk about is called The Midnight Game. And this one is interesting. It's... I would say it's just as dangerous as Three Kings.
Okay.
Because it uses your own blood.
I don't like blood. That's a no for me.
You also need salt, which, if for those of you who don't know, who aren't like hippy dippy witchy like I am, I like that. It's my new term, hippy dippy witchy. Salt is like a purification thing, or if you use it, like if you're a pagan and you use it in rituals, you usually create like a salt ring, and that sounds
Protection.
Yeah, that sounds so cliche, but it's true. That's what you do, like in pagan ceremonies and whatnot. So this one involves salt, which when I read that, I'm like, okay, this is the first paranormal game that I saw or looked into that actually had some form of, I want to say legit protection. Use the word legit loosely.
Right.
Just, whatever. Grain of salt, shall we say. Somebody please be my friend. Okay, so for this one, you need a candle, like all of them, almost. A piece of paper, a pen or a pencil, matches or a lighter, salt, a wooden door. I don't know, like, most people have wooden doors in their house, so I don't know if it has to be, like, a specific room, or if you just need a wooden door off its hinges. I don't know. And then at least 1 drop of your own blood. Just 1 drop, right? Just one. That's just 1 drop.
That makes me nauseous.
Yeah. So here are the rules. Write your full name, first, middle, and last, on a piece of paper, and put at least 1 drop of your blood on the paper, and allow it to, like, soak onto the paper for a minute. Turn off all the lights in the place you're doing this. Go to the wooden door and place the paper with your name on it in front of the door. Now take out the candle and light it. Place it on top of the paper. So I'm guessing you don't need a specific room, but you go to the store, you set your piece of paper down on the ground, put your candle on it.
With your blood on it? Yeah,
with your blood on it. Knock on the door 22 times. The hour must be 12 a.m. exactly upon the final knock. So I'm assuming you have to practice this, because you have to knock 22 times and your last knock has to happen exactly at 12 a.m.
Okay.
Which, how are you going to do that? Like, how are you going to time that so perfectly?
You set up, hypothetically, you set a timer or you get a clock that has the seconds on it, and you don't start knocking until 11:59 and 38 seconds.
Okay. You're a little more clever than I am. I read that and I'm like, how the hell are you going to do that?
But then you can only knock like once every second. Be a long 22 seconds.
So once you've knocked her 22 times and the hour is 12 a.m. exactly, open the door, blow out the candle, close the door. You have just allowed the Midnight Man to enter your house. Mm-mm. Which, no. Mm-mm. I don't want anything entering my house. Immediately relight your candle. This is where the game begins. That wasn't it. This is where it begins. You must now lurk around your now completely dark house. It has to be completely dark. No lights whatsoever. So like oven light, the timer on your oven, that's got to turn off. You got to turn off everything. So you're going to wander around your dark house with 1 lit candle in your hand. And your goal of this game, your objective, like most of these have an objective, is to avoid the Midnight Man until 3:33 a.m.
That's a long time.
So you have to wander around your house and just hope to freaking Lord or whoever you're worshiping that you don't run into this thing that you just let into your house. And
that sounds like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Well, and who's to say this thing's going to make any noise?
Right, like how do you avoid it? You just like
hope nothing happens?
Hunker down in a corner and cry?
No, you have to walk around. You have to walk around.
You're setting me up for failure.
Yeah. So if your candle goes out, the Midnight Man is near you. I guess that's like one of the things that you can use to guide. But I don't want him ever that close to me. So if your candle goes out, that means he's very near you, and you have 10 seconds to relight it. That's it. 10 seconds. So I would suggest don't use matches, because then you got to pull the matches out of your pocket. You got to get a match. You got to light the match, and then use a lighter. Don't do it at all.
A full lighter.
But if you're not successful in lighting your candle within those 10 seconds, you then immediately surround yourself with a circle of salt. So you have to have your salt in your pocket too. So wear a lot of pockets.
Wear men's jeans. You can fit all your shit in your pockets.
So if your candle goes out, you can't relight it. You have to do a circle. So if you were unsuccessful in both relighting your candle in 10 seconds and your salt ring, the Midnight Man will create an hallucination, supposedly of your greatest fear. And within the hallucination, it's said that he, slaughters you. Mm-hmm. Like, rips organs from your guts within the hallucination.
Right.
But you'll feel the pain in your hallucination, but you can't react to it, because it's kind of like, we've talked about sleep paralysis in the past, and this is crazy, right? Mm-hmm. This hallucination is crazy. But if you've ever hallucinated before, you can feel pain, you can feel things, and you can't react really, because it's not real. But if you're successful in creating your circle of salt, you have to stay in that circle of salt until 3:33 a.m. You can't move around. You are just there now. So
draw a big circle if you want to lay down or anything.
Or sit down, especially if it happens like at 12:10.
Right, I'm going to be there for a hot minute.
So if you're successful in relighting your candle in the first place, you have to keep going. You have to keep wandering around your house. And again, continue until 3:33
Then
a.m.
give it up and just do a salt ring.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
I'm going to sit right here and give my salt. To win the game, there's a win condition. You have to either avoid the Midnight Man until 3:33 a.m. or sit in your salt ring, if that happens to you, until 3:33. The Midnight Man is then supposedly leaving your house at 3:33 a.m. and it said that you're supposed to be safe to then go about your normal life, which I don't know how I feel about that part. Because if you've invited this thing into your house, as we said in the beginning, they don't really need to be kicked out. They're there.
All they need is an invitation.
That's all they need. So I don't trust that he's just gonna.
No.
Especially because you've avoided him. Now he's mad.
Yeah. Yeah. All I keep thinking is that I live in 300 square feet.
Yeah.
I ain't going anywhere.
So again, here's a list of warnings to come with this game.
Okay.
You can't turn any lights on throughout the whole game. Just your one candle. You can't use a flashlight either. It has to be a candle. You can't go to sleep during the game. Who is going to sleep during this game? Mm-hmm. That's one of the warnings I read quite frequently. Who is crazy enough to go to sleep?
Who could fall asleep?
I don't know. Maybe people that are like, because there's certain people that are just like so closed off to this stuff and completely don't believe it's real.
Big old skeptics.
Yeah, maybe it's them, but like, I don't know why they would be playing this in the first place. Do not attempt to use any other person's blood on your name card. Why? I mean, it's a warning, so it had to have been done.
Well, I just have one question. Can I have a drop of your blood?
Absolutely.
That's fucking weird.
Well, I don't get it. Like, why would you think to do that in the first place?
I don't know.
I best not to look too much into it, I guess. But
yeah, I don't want to think about that.
You also can't use a lighter as a substitute for the candle. You can light the candle with a lighter, but you have to have the candle. Oh, and it says, definitely do not attempt to provoke the Midnight Man in any way, which he's always... I mean, you're avoiding him. You've invited him in. Now you're avoiding him. He's going to be agitated anyway. Why are you going to then provoke him? You know? Like, that's the end of the warnings. But people who have played this game in the past have said that once you invite him in, like we said before, he will remain. Mm-hmm. And he may not remain in the fact where you have to avoid him every night, you'll see him all the time or whatever, but people have said that the presence is always there. He's always watching. I feel him, whatever.
Looming negativity.
Right. Well, because you've invited him into your flipping house. Mm-hmm. Like, dumb. So, that's Midnight Man. Don't play it.
No, highly recommend against it.
I don't know. People who come up with these games are like, well, the origins of this game, like why this was even created, it's just beyond me. It's kind of crazy.
So the next game is called Daruma-San, and it's originally from Japan, and it's a bath game. And
don't ruin baths for me.
I was confused. I was a little bit confused by that, but when you play Daruma-San, you're summoning a ghost that will follow you all day long in an attempt to catch you. I don't.
Again, why
are
do
you
this?
running? Why are you running from? Like, what's the like weird fetish that you have with, like to be running away from some kind of like evil entity? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, we said in the beginning that it's like top paranormal video games. If you want to actually be in a video game, play this game.
Right, for real though. So you go into your bathroom, strip yourself naked, fill the bathtub with water, and switch off the lights. Okay. Climb inside, close your eyes, and start washing your hair while chanting Daruma-San fell down over and over. You will see a mental image of a Japanese woman standing in front of a tub before she falls on a rusty faucet, which impales her.
How is a... Okay.
Yeah. Proceed with the mantra until you end washing your hair. Washing your hair in the tub is like
the worst thing ever. Anyway. You need a cup or you gotta dunk it, and then if you dunk your hair, it's soapy again because there's soap in the water. Don't wash your hair in the bathtub.
No. So once you feel a presence close to you, ask out loud, why did you fall within the bathtub? Don't await an answer. With your eyes kept shut, rigorously get up, get a towel, exit the bathroom, and shut the door behind you.
With your eyes closed?
Yes.
I can't walk on 2 feet with my eyes open.
Right. But the game begins the next day.
Oh, the next day.
Mm-hmm. You will feel her presence constantly following you, but don't let her catch you. If you want to capture her, gaze over your right shoulder and shout, Kita, and then it's over.
Kita means trapped in Japanese.
Yeah. So that's it.
That's how you win the game? Or
apparently.
That's how you, like...
You have to just avoid... She's just going to follow you around.
I feel like I've watched a video game like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like... I might have. I watched this YouTube channel called John Wolf, and he plays a lot of really bad, like, personally made horror games. Mm-hmm. And he might have even played one called Daruma-San, because this just sounds
a lot of them
so
sound
familiar.
very similar to video games that I've like heard of or seen.
Yeah. Well, there's a game called The Midnight Man that I just watched. It's like 6 years ago. He played 6 years ago, but I just watched it like the other day. So I'm assuming that you have to capture her to end the game. Otherwise, she's just going to follow you around forever. Forever.
That's fine.
Hey, you know what? I could use so many friends. Maybe.
I don't like my friends to be that clingy.
True that. Get away from me.
So now we're going to get into the games that we played.
Yeah. Listen, guys, this is how much we love you. We played weird paranormal games for you.
I played them one by myself.
Yeah, I made, well, here's the thing. That was one that we were looking into because it seemed like the least dangerous or whatever. And I straight up told you, I'm like, I'm not playing this. So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Because I'm not.
So we played 2 games. We played the telephone game and we played Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm. Charlotte's Web has also been popular. Like Haley Reese did a video. Like when we had started talking about doing an episode like this, I think it was the same day or the day before she had posted a video of Charlotte's Web. And her video title was Charlotte's Web, Never Play. And I didn't watch it because I knew we were going to do it.
And then we played.
And then we played it.
So I played the telephone game on my own. And when you read about it, there's a giant caution. It says, this is a magical ritual that calls upon the dead to communicate. Should you choose to attempt this ritual, be warned that this is not a game and any results, good and bad, may be long-lasting, disturbing, and possibly dangerous.
Great.
So naturally, played it.
Well, this isn't like inviting things into your house, though.
Right. It is not. I do not want to do that. So what you need to play the telephone game is a phone booth or a closet. Any like room that you can shut yourself in with no light. You need a handset or a paper cup. I used a plastic cup. Red Solo cup for the win. You need a telephone box, like a shoebox. A telephone wire, like a regular string or like a thread. You need about 2 to 4 feet of string, and you'll need a needle also. Scissors. And you'll need some strong object to power the telephone box with. It must have a personal connection to whomever you're trying to talk to. This is very important. A single sheet of paper, a pen, and some sort of flat surface to write on. So basically you're going to be making a phone call. And so your outbound call...
A phone call to the dead, right?
Yes. So for the outbound call, you wait for the end of the day right before bedtime. Everything that you were going to do that day is either done or is not, but for now out of the picture and out of your mind. For now, it's just you in the night, just you and your thoughts alone in your room. Don't turn off the lights, but do turn off your cell phone, your TV, your stereo, radio, computer, etc. You want 0 distractions and absolutely no interruptions. You want quiet. Then just wait for the right time. What's the right time? It's one of those things that are hard to describe, but you'll know it when you see it. It may build up gradually, but when it's finally there, it'll hit you, 0 doubt. Only at this point may you begin writing your letter. If this threshold of certainty never comes within an hour, just go to sleep and try again the next night. If you've been trying for 3 or 4 nights already and the moment never comes, then it may simply be that you're not ready for this. That's okay. Try a different person, give yourself a break for a few nights. What you don't want to do is write your letter while in doubt. That would be a wrong number.
Wrong number.
When you do begin writing, don't erase or correct any mistakes that you make. This includes scrawling words over.
That would be so hard for me.
Me too. Don't start over either. You only have a single sheet of paper and your first draft is your final draft. It's ink. Explain to this person why they should give you a ring. Be honest. My personal advice is let it all out. It's not always easy. Don't overthink, just write. This is why you had to wait for the right time. It'll all make sense. Again, doubt equals wrong number. Never dial a wrong number. If you do, it's best to abort the entire thing. When you're done, tie one end of the string to the power object using a needle. When you're done, tie one end of the string to the power object and using a needle, insert the other end through the center of the bottom of your paper cup. Remove the needle, tie a little knot, and now you have a cute little paper telephone like you probably once made when you were a child. Don't prepare this ahead of time before your letter. Write the letter first, then do the paper cup. Read your letter aloud into the paper cup. Read it sincerely as if the person at the other end could hear you, including all mistakes that you didn't correct. Just read them. This is your outbound call. Place the object in the letter into the shoebox and place the shoebox on the floor of your phone booth, your closet. Then close the box, but don't seal it. Just let the lid rest there gently, with the string still coming out from under and going to your paper cup. Leave the paper cup standing on the top of the box. Leave the scissors on the floor next to the box. You're done. Now all that's left to do is wait for the ring. Showtime.
Showtime.
Yes, the inbound call. The ring will come in a dream either that night or some night shortly after. You will dream of the person trying to call you, and you will wake up from that dream, usually in the middle of the night, and you'll know that it's time to take the call. Don't turn on the light. Don't say a word. Just get up from the bed and go to your phone booth. Is the box still closed with the paper cup standing on top? Good. Get in the closet, sit down, and slide the door closed. A closed booth is particularly important in case the ring comes after sunrise, because you'll need the darkness. If you find the box open, or if you find the paper cup knocked over, abort the mission and snap off the string. Don't take the headset anywhere near your ear. Use the scissors if you can't snap the thread with your own hands. It happens. Otherwise, just sit there on the floor and press the paper cup to your ear and cover your other ear with your other hand. This will help you listen. It may take a while. You may not speak. Don't move too much. Keep covering one ear with one hand and the other with the headset. Don't touch the box. Some people report an increase in call quality after tugging on the string ever so gently. This is fine, but just be careful not to open the box by doing so. Remember, they're calling collect, and if this goes through, that shoebox must remain closed for at least a few months. Again, you may not speak, not even if you are asked questions, not even if you are ordered to. You already said your piece at the outbound call. For the inbound one, just listen. Avoid noise. When you're done, or if you want to hang up, simply hold the box lid closed with one hand and pull on the headset with the other hand until the string snaps off, or use the scissors in case of an emergency. Keep the closed shoebox somewhere safe for a few months. Oh, and remember to dispose of that paper cup later too. Burning is fine, but never put it to your ear again. What if, after 3 or 4 nights, the ring never comes? Maybe they have nothing to say to you. That's okay. Try another person, and don't do this too often. So
why can you never put that cup to your ear? Is something gonna come through and I almost slurp at your ear?
I almost wonder if because you opened that door, if something else can come forward. That's not good.
Probably.
So I did this with a deceased family member that I'm just going to choose to not name directly. I did not get a call. So the first 2 nights, nothing happened at all. And then last night, actually, I went to bed and I fell asleep thinking about it intentionally. Mm-hmm. And thinking about the person and thinking about getting a phone call. And I thought about that. I thought about it. And I did that because sometimes you think about stuff or you read stuff or something and then you dream about it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, maybe I can just manifest it.
Right.
So I thought about it and I dreamt about not getting a phone call.
Huh.
I dreamt about wondering why the phone wasn't ringing. I had a dream that I was in bed waiting for a phone call and the phone call never came. So I don't know if I dreamt about it because I thought about it or if I dreamt about it because
you weren't going to get one.
Because I wasn't going to get the phone call. I'm not ready for the phone call or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did dream about it, but I did not get a ring. So maybe I'm just not supposed to get one.
I know. I wonder if you did it again in a few months, if you would get one.
When I'm more emotionally stable. Maybe when I'm more emotionally stable, I'll be ready. But
maybe.
Yeah, no.
It's interesting, though, that you, dreamt about it.
Mm-hmm. I went to bed thinking about it.
That's so strange.
Because I was like, no, I'm going to get something. I'm getting something out of this.
I'm doing this. I'm going to get something.
I was like, if nothing happens, I don't want to accept that nothing's going to happen. So
yeah,
I'm like, let me go to bed thinking about it. And so, I don't know.
So even though you didn't get a ring, we decided that we were going to play Charlotte's Web. And apparently Charlotte's Web has evolved out of the Three Kings ritual. And you're like, oh, guys, you just said you weren't going to do that. It's different. It's pretty different from the Three Kings ritual. I think so. I don't know why I kept reading that it was derived from the Three Kings ritual. But like I said, Charlotte's Web has gained a little bit more popularity nowadays. But Charlotte has her own story. So it said that Charlotte Webster was a 7-year-old girl who lived in the 1400s. And her mother was accused of being a witch, and she was burned at the stake. And the young girl had to watch her mother be burned alive and couldn't take the agony, as I'm sure nobody could, watching their mother get burned. And she ran off into the woods. She just ran in any direction she could. She ended up in the woods, and being 7 and not really knowing how to survive on your own at 7 years old, she ended up passing away in the woods. And the legend goes that she died in the woods and then animals picked apart her body.
Oh.
And her carcass basically was found.
Yikes.
This game, the point of this game is to call the spirit of Charlotte forward and chat. Just chat or ask a question or communicate in some way, which we thought, okay, we communicate with ghosts
all the time
on a weekly flipping basis. So we're like, we're not inviting her. Like, we're not saying, hey, come into our house. Like, we don't ever say those words.
No.
And at the end of the ritual, you end it. You say goodbye. And to me, that was like a huge factor because if I'm dabbling in any, even when I like meditate, I make it a point to formally end it.
Right.
And so the fact that we say goodbye at the end of it, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
This seems moderately safe.
Right.
And it's a child.
Right. So
supposedly, hopefully.
But again, there are some rules to follow. You also need to, I'll like get into what you need because you need some things to do this. You're going to need a flashlight. You're going to need a toy or two to offer to Charlotte. You're going to need 2 chairs and you're going to need a mirror. So for the flashlight, you can't use any flames. It has to be a flashlight because the idea is she wants your mother to be burned at the stake.
Yep.
Flame is a no-go, understandably. Again, you're going to need a child's toy, something that Charlotte will enjoy. I think we had a stuffed unicorn and a bouncy ball because you can't really find 1400 style toys.
No, you cannot.
So we used what we had at the Dollar Tree.
A light up bouncy ball.
Yeah, the dogs really like it, but they can't have it because it's full of liquid. Juice. That's, I'm assuming, poisonous. Like I said, you're going to need 2 chairs and a mirror. So the idea is that you set up your room. And typically, you're going to want to use a room without any windows. We use the basement where we are right now in the other side of it. I do have a window in this basement, but it's covered by our idea board.
Yeah.
For the most part. And we did this at like 11 p.m.
It was late.
So we set up our chairs in front of the mirror. You have to lean your mirror up against a wall or something else. And you put your 2 chairs in front of the mirror. And you have like a small table behind your chairs where you set your toys on. And the idea is you're going to be able to see yourself in the mirror. You have to be able to see your face and the toys behind you. And you can play it with 2 or more people. Just depends on how many people you can fit in the mirror, and all of them can see everyone's faces and the toys. So it's kind of difficult for us because I have like an old rounded mirror, and it was really hard to like situate it in a way.
We figured it out
in a way to see everything. So when you have everything in place, you're supposed to turn on your flashlight, go around, turn all the lights off, and you can keep your flashlight on. That was a dilemma we had. We had no idea if we were supposed to keep our flashlight on, but we came to the conclusion that you are. Because you have to see your reflection in the mirror. And
the toys.
And the toys.
If you can't see them, how would you know that they're there or moving or whatever?
So we just used our phone flashlight and we set it on the ground in front of us. You get your flashlight out, turn all the lights off in the room, and take your seat. And you're supposed to take like some deep breaths and just kind of relax. You're not supposed to go into this nervous. If you go into this nervous, she's not going to want to play.
Right.
It's said that she can like sense fear and nervousness and then, well, I guess like any child can. Like if you're acting weird, the child's going to act weird.
Yep, that's true.
That reminds me of like my mom. I don't like tornadoes. Neither do you.
No. Oh, no.
But my mom is fascinated with them. Shout out to my mom if you're listening to this. And so whenever there would be like, I distinctly remember there being storms and she wants to go outside and film them in the middle of, a tornado. And she'd always tell me, if I'm not panicking, you don't panic.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Except I grew up to have a panic disorder.
It's fine.
Little mental health humor.
It's so funny.
But that's what it reminds me of. My mom was like, if you don't panic, or if I don't panic, you don't panic. So I guess that's the idea here. If we don't panic, Charlotte doesn't panic. You're going to want to look into the mirror when you're sitting down, and you have to say, we want to play Charlotte's Web. And you have to say it in unison. And it took us 2 tries. Even though we say stay spooky at the end, I think you said Charlotte's Game and I said Charlotte's Web. So we had to redo it. But you're supposed to say, we want to play Charlotte's Web in unison, and then you have to keep your eyes on the mirror. You cannot look away from this mirror, which is difficult.
It's so hard.
And you wouldn't think that'd be hard, but in the dark with one flashlight and you're waiting for something to like show up, you're freaking out a little bit. So you're like, your eyes are darting. You're like, I can't look away from this mirror. You're supposed to look into the mirror, keep your eyes on the mirror on your reflection or the toys behind you. You can look at whatever as long as you're looking into the mirror. You cannot look outside of the mirror. And it's said that if Charlotte likes what you've brought her, she will appear. Either like as an apparition, or the toys will move, something will move, whatever. Once you know that she's there, if the toys move, if you see something moving, you can ask her questions if you'd like. Don't be rude, and don't look away from the mirror. When you're finished asking questions, you can close the game, and you have to say goodbye, Charlotte, in unison, and that's how it ends. It's also said that if you see Charlotte, but she doesn't take the toys from the table, or doesn't move them or play with them or whatever, she's very upset, and she will throw a tantrum. And if she does that, you have to immediately say goodbye, Charlotte. Because I guess a tantrum is not good. In the readings I was doing, it said that she's a child and children throw really big tantrums, and it's like elevated by the fact that she's a spirit. And that was like, like the thing that like, oh, this is going to be the tantrum from hell if you don't close this game out. So when you're closing the game, again, don't look away from the mirror. Say goodbye, Charlotte, in unison. And if you do see her, if you are lucky enough, I guess, to see her in the mirror, once you say goodbye, Charlotte, she'll slowly like vanish from the mirror. Once she's gone and completely out of view, you can turn around, look behind you, move, whatever. If you don't see her, if you say goodbye, Charlotte, it's over. Like, if she never showed up, it's fine. Now you can stand up, go about your day, whatever. So we did this, and we didn't get nothing.
There's like something really spooky about looking into a mirror in the dark with very little light.
Yeah, with just one light. And the light was below us, so it looked even creepier.
And when you are in low light and you're looking into a mirror, like everything kind of distorts a little bit.
Yeah, that's like a phenomenon that actually happens. Like if you're in low light and you're looking into a mirror for a long time, things will start to move.
Like even my own face, I was just like, is that my face? Is that like the face I'm making or whatever? Like it was very...
Well, I had on a striped shirt, and near the end of it, we ended up setting a timer for 20. We cut it before that, but we were like, if we don't set a timer, we're going to be sitting here for eternity.
Right, like what's our cutoff?
Right. So, but towards the end of it, my stripes on my shirt were like waving and moving. We ended up ending it because my vision started to just go. Like, and I don't know if that's because I was staring at this weird mirror for so long. Yeah. It had been like 11, 12 minutes. But if you've ever blacked out or fainted, your vision will like the black around your vision will like slowly kind of like close in, and it just goes black. And it would come in waves, and that was like what was happening to me. And so I'm like, I like tapped you in the leg, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, goodbye, Charlotte. Because I'm like, if my vision goes out,
this is bad.
I can't see the mirror.
Right.
So I ended up cutting it short. But even right when we started, the toys in the reflection.
Like the ball that we have, it's like about, I don't know, 2.5 inches in diameter approximately.
Yeah, like you can hold it in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and it's got like shimmeries in it.
Yeah, it's like one of those liquid filled balls that has like glitter on it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like no other way for me to describe it.
Yeah.
I feel like, but like at one point it looked like the ball or like the shimmeries were glinting differently, like over a period of time.
Yeah, so like if you imagine with me for a minute.
Yeah, right.
You have like if somebody's like rolling a ball around, like not like around the room, but like you can like roll a ball under your palm.
Yeah.
Like if the ball's on the table, your palm's on top, and you're just kind of like rolling it around. That's what it was looking like.
Yep, and I saw it too.
And we both, and we obviously we weren't talking in the middle of it, but
we can make faces at each other.
Yeah,
in the mirror.
like, and I could see you every now and again like cock your head to the side and like squint.
Yeah,
and then I would do that. I'd like pull my neck back. Like, what? So it was like And like we said before, like things were distorting in the mirror, but this was immediately
within 30 seconds.
Within 30 seconds. And like we said, we had a unicorn too. And I noticed the glint first because that catches your eye. Like when that caught my eye, the ball would stop for a second, and then it looked like the ear of the unicorn would ever so slightly shift.
And I saw that too.
And then the ball would go again. And we got about halfway through our 12 minutes before things kind of stopped, and then our vision was distorting and whatever.
Well, no, and then I saw...
No, that's right.
Out of my periffs, like near the floor, I saw a shadow, like dart. But...
You can't look away.
You can't look away. And so I don't know what it was. It was fast. Like 2 seconds. Enough for me to notice it. And we were unable to debunk.
We tried, yeah, because we like our feet don't touch the ground.
Not well.
In our chairs. And we were using the chairs that we were sitting in now. And so, we were moving. Like I like pushed my glasses up, or I would like unfold my legs and like my ankles.
Right.
And so we sat there for like 3 minutes, and we're like, what if I did this? And what if I do that? And nothing moved.
Well, and the way that the light was, so we used the iPhone flashlight, And so I turned it on, and then I put the screen on the ground. And so it was like maybe 2 feet in front of us on the floor facing upward. So for anything to make a shadow, it would have had to be between the left side of the phone and the wall.
Yeah.
Really, because it was against the left side of the wall is where I saw the shadow. And we kicked our feet out and did everything and nothing. So definitely a shadow, though.
Yeah.
110%, no question. Definitely saw that.
Well, and we didn't see Charlotte.
No.
We never saw an apparition. We never saw something walk into view in the mirror. We saw the toys move for sure. And you saw the shadow.
Yep.
But we never saw what we could make out as a girl. Like, nothing came into view.
Right.
Weird thing is, we recorded this. And I had my phone in the tripod, and it was behind us. So that I think there was like a video on our Instagram of us saying, we want to play Charlotte's Web.
Yeah.
And that was actually in the game.
Yeah.
Because I had recorded it and I just clipped it. But I looked back at that footage because I made it so that you can see. I think if you look back at the video, at the very bottom of the video in the middle of the screen, you can see the toys that we have sitting there. Obviously, it's pretty dark, so we have one flashlight on. But they never move.
No.
Throughout the whole video, they don't move.
Not even a millimeter.
But in the mirror, as soon as the game was over, I looked at you and I said, that ball was moving. And you said, yes, it was.
Yep.
And it was we were both so absolutely, that's what happened.
Yep.
And like I said, we hadn't even been looking in the mirror for 2 minutes yet.
Not long enough for the distortion.
No, because the distortion didn't kick in until like halfway through.
Yeah.
Maybe like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6-7 minutes. So, grain of salt.
Yeah.
But
we didn't get to talk to her. I read a story briefly on Reddit that, like, they said that they saw a 7-year-old girl and they asked her questions and she answered them. That didn't happen here.
no. And like, I have a hard time believing that these crazy things happen. Just
With some of them.
like the Midnight Man ripping out your organs in a hallucination.
Probably less likely.
Yeah. Could you hallucinate like that? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. Some of this stuff I'm like, could that really happen? Like,
yeah.
Because I've never seen a full-on typical apparition. I've never seen a lady dressed in an 1800s white gown with a bonnet moving up the stairs. Like I've seen shadows for sure. And I've seen things move, but I've never been able to see, quote unquote, an apparition of a ghost that I can make out as a, like at the state hospital, we were able to tell like, oh, that's definitely a shadow. That definitely moved across the screen or whatever. But I can't tell if it's a man. I can't tell how tall it is. I can't make out anything other than that's a blob that moved.
Right.
So I'm just, for the people who have seen apparitions like that, what are you doing?
Right.
Because I am so curious.
Meditating.
Maybe I gotta meditate some more.
Third eye opening and all that.
Oh yeah. I got some chakra candles.
Me too.
Those are some of the paranormal games. Those are the two that we decided to play because they were, quote unquote, the safest option for us. Let us know if you guys have played any. I'm assuming some of you might have.
Yeah, if you're into like the weird spooky stuff.
Yeah,
like we are,
and I remember like when I was younger, we would do these creepy, like not necessarily like step-by-step paranormal games, but we would do things.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we would do like stupid things to freak us out. It's a paranormal game. Oh my god, you're gonna see an apparition or whatever. But never anything as crazy as like the Three Kings ritual or never. But we thought it would be a fun topic to dive into, especially because it's gaining popularity and they're creepy things that you could do if you wanted to.
Yes.
But we don't advise it.
Right. If you have played any of these paranormal games or have had any experiences playing them, please let us know. You can reach out to us on any of our social media sites. We are on Instagram at Sunday Night Spookies, on Twitter at Sunday Spookies, and on Facebook at the Sunday Night Spookies podcast.
We also just made a TikTok because I finally caved.
True that.
So you can follow us on there. I think I posted like a screenshot of our profile.
Yeah, at Sunday Night Spookies.
Yes. So we also have a few affiliates in our show notes. We have Instacart. Every single week I say this. I hate going grocery shopping. The only time I actually go get groceries is if I'm going to a fancy Asian store that I'm now obsessed with. But for the most part, I use Instacart. Especially during a pandemic, I get my groceries delivered to my door. It's amazing. It's super affordable. I know, like, in the past, grocery delivery services were stupidly expensive. This one is so much more affordable. And if you use our link, we do get a small kickback of it because it's affiliate, but you get free delivery on your first order of $35 or over. We also have a Buzzsprout link where if you want to start your own podcast, you can use our link. Again, it's an affiliate link, but Buzzsprout is an amazing website. It tracks everything we need to track it, like other than like our social media and stuff. We handle that. But anything podcast, stats, sponsors, affiliates, all of that, it's in one place, which makes it so much easier to manage. So we highly recommend Buzzsprout. It's amazing. We also have a few links for our Amazon affiliates. We have our Spirit Box linked, our EMF linked. Those are 2 pieces of equipment that we use every single investigation. We're never going to give them up because we love them. So if you'd like to purchase those and help us out, you absolutely can. It's important to note that all of these services and products are absolutely available without using our links, so don't feel pressure that you have to use them. We also have our link tree linked. You can go there, and that has all of our socials, our support the show as well, some more links soon to come. And then we have a support the show link, which is our Cash App. So if you're feeling very humble and generous, you can donate to us. We are 2 broke college kids. And running a podcast obviously takes a little bit of money with, the fees. And our investigations take money. We have to pay for hotels to go stay at, gas money, all that kind of stuff. So if there's for example, a specific place you'd like us to go investigate and you want to help us out by donating, absolutely go ahead. No pressure.
Right.
We just appreciate that you guys listen to us. just listening is great. We're also going to start giving some shout outs for people that donate. So my friend Alvin, who listens every week, gave us an amazing donation. I give him a shout out on our social media already, but for those of you who donate, we'll give you a shout out at the end of each show that you donate. So thank you so much, Alvin. And thank you guys for listening.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Sunday Night Spookies.
Join us next week for our recap of our National House Inn, which was our live stream for Halloween. We're finally getting around to doing an actual episode on it. So stay tuned. It's going to be really cool.
New episodes are released every Sunday evening. Thanks so much for listening. And as always,
Stay spooky. Great idea, Sarah. Just go for it.
And you need 2 to 4. Am I going through puberty?
Please keep that in the bloopers.